Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
Good evening.
I like that you just always show up in character, Lilith. You already got the voice on, you know?
Of
Alright,
course.
well, hello adventurers. It's Wednesday again. I think we could probably just go. So you guys have been traversing in the Mournlands and have encountered some old and new enemies after a arduous combat. Most of these foes that you've clashed with, the inhabitants of this camp that you came in contact with, and some denizens of the Mournlands. Most of them have fell to you all. At the end of our session last week, to save Lepis's life, Mercy agreed to travel with Zet. Mercy, you walked forth volunteering, acquiescing to Zet's threats. Really all she seemed to have come here for is to bring you with her, and holding one of her blades to Lepis's downed body, she's coerced you into surrendering yourself. We ended the session last week with Zet wrapping her scythe around the back of your neck, pulling something from one of her pockets, and the two of you, the flash of energy disappeared from the encampment where your combat is taking place. Jin, you wanted to try something. Your turn is next, right?
Yep.
Right. Give me a DC 25 dex check. Acrobatics, I
dexterity
guess.
save?
Acrobatics is
Or,
fine, I guess. Acrobatics.
Okay. Acrobatics with, we'll use Silvery Barb's advantage for this. So we need a pretty high roll to get through. And that's not going to do it.
Ouch.
And in a flash,
Oh no.
Mercy and Zet, the two of you find yourselves in the mists of the Mournlands, hovering above you, casting along shadows, that obsidian portal once again.
I stab.
We'll go... you stab? Okay, well, yeah, we can do that. We'll just go through the turn order. So, Jin, because technically we're still kind of in combat. Before we get out of control here, we'll just kind of remain. So, Jin, after you attempt to swipe, your hand kind of passes through the little flash of arcane energy as they dissipate. And anything else you would like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to try and channel Dimension Door to shunt me along their path.
Ah, okay.
If that's okay.
How far do you dimension door?
Well, my hope is it shunts me to the sigil portal.
Yeah, but it
Like
has
all the other
you can go
tools.
500 feet, right? You just do the whole full 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just full
that'll get you
500.
there. You dimension door
Oh.
to the extended
Don't know why
range
I
of the
doubled.
spell, and you come out a few feet away from them on the other side of or beneath the obsidian portal.
Great.
You and Mercy are kind of on either side. Go ahead.
Great. Since we're here and I still have a hasted attack available, I will attempt to disarm Zet.
Oh yeah.
And I
go
mean
for it.
that in a very literal sense. Which one were we rolling? Hold on, that was 3d8. Okay. Ignore the thunder damage. We are also invisible, so we're doing this at super advantage. Ah! Stop it, roll 20. There we go. A 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
Sorry. Yeah, 9.
Yep.
Great. Ignore the thunder damage. So, 20.
Right. When Zed or when you appear behind her, and you're still greater invisibility, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you strike her. Her head kind of snaps around at the force of the blow.
I will
She
move,
kind of says out loud, should have guessed you were going to make this difficult. Go ahead.
and then I'll move sort of the opposite side, ready to knock her scythe away, I guess.
All right, Mercy, you're up.
At a glance, is there anyone else around?
You might have noticed like a secondary sort of flash of arcane energy come in behind Zet, but as far as you can tell, there's nobody else around.
Okay, I'm a stab. That's a bad stab.
12 will miss Zet.
Okay. I guess I will try... We'll try something that I tried before with Lilith. I'm gonna try to bite her.
You can do so.
Which... What is that? An unarmed D20 plus whatever?
Yeah, just should be like making an attack roll. I feel like you can just make an attack roll with one of your weapons if you want
Oh, okay.
for the 2-hit portion. All right, you sink your teeth into Zet's gray flesh.
Okay, hang on, because I get stuff if I bite someone.
All right.
I haven't got to do this yet. Okay, my damage is piercing and 1d6, and then I get to make an attempt to grapple.
Is she grappled, or is it like, is she grappled if you hit?
That's what I'm looking real quick.
Okay,
Sorry.
no worries.
I'm trying to see which thing it's under. Here it is. When you hit a target with an unarmed strike, you can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple.
Okay, yeah, give me a athletics acrobatics check, and I'll roll against you. 24.
Aw, come on. I finally get to do this.
5 damage. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sink my fangs into her and rip out a chunk and just spit it out, because I imagine it tastes pretty putrid.
Don't just spit it out, spit it in her face.
Alright.
Yeah, but see, she's used to her own, like, rotting decay, so...
It's true.
Anything else, Mercy?
No, that's attacks and bonus. Yeah, I'll just stay here in her face.
Right. Let me just ask ahead of time, I guess. Well, no, we'll just go through the turn order. Mordenkainen, he moves over to Windfall and begins to search her body. Mavathor.
Yeah, Althor will look over to Mordenkainen and did Lilith ever mention to the rest of the party about the scrap of cloth that she found back at the giant warforge we were exploring?
I think she just mentioned it to Mavathor.
Right. Okay. Yeah, he'll take a quick glance at Mordenkainen's robes.
Yeah, you can see there's like a torn bit of kind of around his sleeve. It's kind of torn.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't really think of anything right now, so
Lep's unconscious.
he is.
Oh, yeah.
Does he need healing right now, or?
He's gonna make a death saving throw in this next
Okay,
turn.
yeah, then if that's the case, yeah, it'll just healing word, Lep.
Aw, thank you.
All right, Lilith.
Okay, Lilith's gonna do some insight on Mordenkainen.
Sure. What are you inciting for?
Gonna see if she can see what's weird about him, but she's kind of she's kind of a little out of it right now.
It's been some time since you've seen Mordenkainen. When you met him, he was the kind of a shell of a man driven to madness in the realm of dread Barovia, and slowly over time you helped to kind of nurse him back to health and kind of regain himself. But he looks fairly close to what you would imagine him to look like near the end of that time when he left Barovia. There's nothing about him really that you can tell that seems like any different from the last time you met him, except for the fact that he doesn't seem to be able to cast really any magic right now.
Okay. In that case, yeah, Lilith's just gonna kind of hang back, and things will go over to her.
All right, Lep, you're conscious.
Yay! I'm alive. Somehow. Yeah, no, he gets up and he's like, oh, well, I'm happy I'm alive. Where'd everyone go?
Well, Mercy, sacrificed herself to save you, and Jin followed after them to try and save Mercy.
Oh. Well, then shouldn't we go after them?
I don't believe we have the capability to do so.
Oh, that's true.
You also see Lilith kind of just like, not doing so hot, kind of staggering as she's walking.
Oh. Lilith, do you want some healing?
I just need the rest, honestly.
Okay, well, let me... I mean, I can try and help. And I'll cast both level mass healing word, so everybody gets 7 plus 4 healing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, okay. That's his turn.
All right. Jayla will heal herself some. She was on 1 HP. And Zet will reach out to try and kind of grab your throat after you bite her. Mercy, and she's not able to get a hold of you, and then she swings at you twice with her scythe. She says, well, I'm supposed to bring you back alive, but I suppose just adding another body to my army is just as well. She hits you for 7 slashing.
You honestly think that even as an undead I would follow you? You can't control your own now.
You overestimate how many choices you're able to make for yourself in the afterlife. Jin.
Yeah, but your people had no brains when they were alive, so I can't expect much now.
And you underestimate the amount of choices you have at this very moment. He says, casting a booming blade, Shadow Blade. That's super advantage. That's a crit. That's a very bad day for you. Yep, all of that, and another 68 if she moves.
What's that, 67?
Didn't do them a lot. 20, 34, 50. It's a lot. Uh, 15, 30, 48, 60, yeah, 67.
And how much if she moves?
Another 6d8 thunder.
68, another 68 thunder?
Yep. Attack number 2, no booming blade. Now that's another crit. Uh, 34, 41, 50. Ignore the thunder damage.
How does that die?
Well, first the first strike severs her left arm and left leg. The second strike, he comes back up to get her right arm and right leg. He goes in. He goes to step back to pull out the combustor to finish her, and then realizes, oh, she's already dead.
Yeah. Her dismembered body kind of topples, and there's a slope that goes down into the valley underneath the obsidian portal, and she kind of tumbles down it a ways. I guess I can reveal the rest of these magical items.
Yep, retrieve her body, so we can loot that. I will send a message across the bonds to Mavathor, and he will say, I retrieved Mercy, and Zet's Ducat has been removed from play.
Excellent. Do you want us to wait here at the camp for you to return?
How far away was that trek?
It'll take you... let's see, you guys moved twice to get here, I think, right? It'll take you 10 hours to get back.
Trying to think, do we have any other business in the Mornland now that we have the rod piece?
Well, we can
There's supposed to be another rod piece here.
Yeah, I can answer that
Oh,
question
yeah.
for you momentarily. Let me remove the turn order.
Gotcha.
Mavathor, you have the bottom piece of the rod. And you guys learned from Alestriel and Tasha that the rod pieces will point in the direction of the next piece of the rod. The rod kind of wants to be reformed, but only higher pieces will point to the pieces below it. And you guys found the lower end of the rod, piece number 1 in Windfall's possession. However, you are close enough to a second piece that the rod is kind of reverberating a bit, and it is pulling you in sort of a northeastern direction from the location of the camp. Sort of communicating to you in its own little special way, this being of order, that another piece of itself is awaiting to be found.
He'll communicate this over the telepathic one to, yeah, I guess everyone that is in the bond.
Find shelter, and we will make our way back to you.
Okay.
Should move some of the trash over here off to the side. You guys, you search the camp bodies and try and secure the area as best you can. If you're gonna stay here and wait for the others. So you actually managed to find everything that I posted in the Windfalls of Combat little thing there. What would you like to do while you wait for the others to return?
Out of curiosity, is there just some like generic chains sitting around that Avatar can pick up?
Yeah, you can find some chains or rope.
Specifically chains. Yeah, he'll take, let's say, like 4 lengths of chain.
Yeah, in the mining equipment, you can find lengths of chain.
Alright, and he'll stuff it into his bag of holding. Yeah, he'll approach right here and ask Mordenkainen if he's quite done searching her body, because funerary pyre is required here.
He says, oh, yes, sorry. I'm looking for something particular that maybe this person may have had it.
Well, you seem like a fairly thorough person, so if you couldn't find it.
Says, I suppose now that
shit.
we have time, I can formally introduce myself. My name is Mordenkainen. I and a few of my companions searching for something important that we view might be integral to maintaining reality as we know it.
Yeah, we've thought we would come here and see if we could find anything, but
You asked me
seems
a,
like
a question. I guess that means that you've met Lustriel and Tasha.
yes, we have the brief stint with them, but thought we'd come here and look for information.
Well, I'm happy to acquire some allies. The situation here in Ebron, specifically these Mournlands, is more dire than I had anticipated. Probably should not have come here. Especially considering my current condition. Things must be done. Necessary things.
Over the telepathic bond, he'll message to Lilith that Lustriel and Tasha had mentioned that he has a reputation of arrogance, and it seems highly unlikely that he would admit that he would come here alone. Or he regrets coming here alone.
She'll message back, yeah, something is not right here.
He'll just nod politely and say, well, we certainly can use all the help we can get. As you can see, he motions to Jayla. We've already found a very capable ally here.
Lilith right now is just like scrutinizing Mordenkainen, like trying to get a read on him.
He says, I don't suppose, since you've been here, you've come across a piece of the rod, then. I imagine, since you've met Illustrial and Tasha, that's why you're here.
Well, if we had acquired a piece of the rod, do you think we'd be sitting here gabbing on about finding it?
Fair point taken. I've searched this valley somewhat thoroughly. Trouble seems to lurk wherever I go. It's been arduous, slow-moving task.
Yes, well, as the case is with all tasks that are arduous, they're best done correctly.
I couldn't agree more. Do you happen to know where Illustrial and Tasha have gone off to?
Out of character, I do not remember the name of the planet they are headed to.
Orth. Oreth?
Orth. Yeah, I'll say yes. They're headed to apparently the home place of Vecna. Searching for clues or information.
Another dangerous endeavor, but a logical place to search. Going to need it to know everything we can about Vecna to defeat him.
He'll message Lilith again and say it is incredibly suspicious that he doesn't know where Tasha or Illustrial went.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna approach Mordenkainen and be like, "Do you remember me?"
He kind of looks you up and down and says, can it be you? Grown up, Lilith.
So she kind of backs away a little bit and just kind of keeps her eyes on him, goes over to Mavathor, and she messages him, "You never called me Lilith."
You're a long way from home. How did you end up with these companions of yours?
He'll message back. What did he call you back then?
Princess.
He'll, like, bite his lip and nod. He'll say to Mordenkainen, can you excuse us for a moment as he walks over to Lep and Jalen, kind of motions for them to, like, huddle up.
Mm.
And
What are we doing? What's going on? I'm trying to get Jayla to play a card game, but she don't want to.
yeah, that's kind of not really important right now, Lep. It's he'll,
What?
say
Something happened?
very discreetly that is not Mordenkainen over there.
Then who is it?
I think that hardly matters, but he is not who he says he is.
Then why don't we ask him who is he?
Because we don't want to show our hand. I thought you were good at cards. Why are you so fascinated with them?
Because I like cards. And I mean, okay, cards are fun. But I'm
How
tired.
did he win blackjack?
Can we just ask him? I can ask him.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's hard to fool the party when they accidentally figured out early who the person that they're talking to is.
Yeah.
Mordenkainen, hi, I'm Lep. Like walks over
God.
waving. Are you Mordenkainen?
Good to meet you.
Mordenkainen? Do you have a nickname? No? Okay.
Of course I'm
Liz just pinches the bridge of her nose and kind of like sinks back a little bit.
So what do you do again? I know like you're like powerful, but that's kind of about it.
What do I do? That's an interesting question. I do a lot of things. But right now, I'm solely focused on saving the multiverse from utter destruction.
Cool. Anything else?
Well, I've spent much of my life traveling to many interesting places.
Ooh. Like where?
Well, some of my favorites are Waterdeep and Faerun. Yes, I've been to many interesting worlds, including where your friend Lilith is from there, Barovia. Although I didn't have a very hospitable time as I do in Waterdeep.
Okay. That sounds like some stuff you gotta deal with by yourself, buddy. Do you want to play a game of cards? Because my friends don't. Well, I don't know. I don't know. You seem a little weird. Maybe it's just because you're old. I don't know.
Well, I think we all need to lick our wounds a bit and wait for your other companions to return, I assume. I'd be happy
Well, yeah.
to play some games with you if you'd like.
Cool. And he like sits down like crisscross applesauce. Like, join me. Let's play a game of cards.
Sure.
Do you want some tea?
I would love some tea.
He like hands him some tea. Okay, I didn't use these cards. They're new. I found them on Windfall's body while you and Maptho were having an adult conversation. I'm not allowed to talk in those. He tells me it's not good. So,
I have to pull up
what
the
card
Dungeon
game?
Master's Guide already, huh? Well, why don't you tell me a
Oh,
little
no.
bit more about this game that we're playing? I've never seen
Yeah.
I've never seen cards like these before.
I don't know. They look weird, but they're still cards. But no, there's a game back in the Feywild that we used to play, or that I used to play. It's called I think the humans have it and they call it like Go Fish, but we call it, and it's much better. It's a lot better. It's called Stop Frog. I don't know why, but it's fun. I played it a good couple of times. You're just supposed to have the cards like this, and then we're each supposed to get like a hand of this amount, and then we're supposed to like do this and this. And this is me, the player, forgetting how to play Go Fish. But yeah, I can go first, and I can show you if that would make it easier. Morty, can I call you Morty? Do you have a preferred nickname?
Morty's fine. That's fine.
Cool, Morty.
Yeah, why don't you go first and show me how the game begins?
Yeah. He like turns around to the others and gives like 2 thumbs up.
You see, Lilith messages Mabitha and she goes, he would murder someone if they called him Morty.
Yeah, he'll just nod and take everything value off of Windfall. And as he does, he'll motion for Jayla to join him and kind of whispers to her as to what she assesses of our current situation.
Yeah, as you guys are traveling back to the camp, Jin and Percy, you guys can hear like a humming sound off in the distance, um,
Shit.
in the sky, like above you, and through the mists of the Mornlands, you can see like some distance away this like ring, a large, faint blue glow in the air, like a big ring. What would you guys like to do?
First, can I just say we would have burned Zet's body?
Sure.
Well, yeah, that's what Mavler's doing right now. He's picking her clean, and then he's going over
Well,
here.
you're doing Windfall. We would have done Zet.
Oh, okay. I sorry, I heard Windfall.
You're good. They're both
While
in the
she's
ring, so it's all
burning,
good.
while she's burning Zet's body, Jin is lecturing her on the merits of executing a proper deception and effective use of stalling tactics.
Mercy is blatantly ignoring him.
After you guys burn Zet and you're heading off in the direction of the camp, you hear this humming sound, and off in the distance, you can see this kind of faint ring of light in the mists overhead. What would you guys like to do?
Is it
Mercy's
something I've
just
seen
gonna
before?
Yeah, it reminds you of a fairly common vessel in Eberron that sort of powers propulsion on flying ships.
Okay.
Some of the more traditional Eberron vessels.
Can I narrow the sound down to a specific type of ship?
Yeah, probably. Make a perception check.
Alrighty. 28.
This is probably like a common sort of light class battleship that's kind of used in quick transportation. It can go at high speeds and can carry a crew of about 12.
Yep. Is Rary's bond still active at this point?
Your guys' telepathic bond?
Yeah.
How long did it last?
Lasts an hour.
You're getting.
I don't believe Lilith is connected to it anymore.
No, Lilith is not connected to it, but Mavathor is.
Mm.
You guys set the bond when you guys first arrived, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
All
Well,
right.
he was refreshing it basically every hour.
Every hour.
Every hour.
Because it's a ritual, so you can just do that.
After you burn the bodies, you guys have been traveling for about 2 hours now, maybe.
Okay.
So it's probably gone.
All right. That's unfortunate. I'll try a sending spell to Mavahor to let him know that there's a warship inbound.
They're called pathfinders. They're used for scouting and stuff.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and we'll try a sending spell and let him know that a pathfinder is en route. It is flying in their direction, correct?
It's
passes overhead.
It's gonna pass over your guys' head soon, but it is flying in their direction.
Okay. I gotta. Oh, right, 25 words. A pathfinder vessel inbound to your location. Do not let them see you, Jin.
Okay. Yeah, he'll gather up everyone and tell them that the situation, that got a message from Jin saying that There's a warship or a ship on route to our location. We need to hide.
Aw. Okay.
Oh, that's so cool.
Ella looked at Jalen and say, any suggestions where we can hide?
Jayla gets kind of this frightened look on her face, and she says, it's probably the Silver Flame. They've been searching for me here in the Mordenlands. I've seen their ships pass overhead more than once.
Will the tent be enough?
Would what be enough?
The tent?
It's possible if they see the state of this campsite, if they pass overhead, that they will stop and investigate.
So we probably need to run into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That one's more
Which direction are we running?
a little more like the ship that's gonna pass by.
Oh,
Sorry,
fun.
Mercy. What were you going to do? I know we jumped in at the same time.
Do we know roughly how far away we are from everyone?
Probably, I
10
mean,
hours.
8 hours, yeah.
you're not.
8 hours
I mean,
now.
your characters aren't exactly sure how long it's gonna take. But traveling in the Mornlands is kind of like traveling in Avernus. The distance between two places is kind of obscure, even if you've traveled it before. But you know it's gonna take, judging from like the last two moves you make to the campsite, it took about 8 to 10 hours between those two moves, roughly the same amount of time. Are you guys going to try and hide?
Yeah.
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 Well, first,
Mhm.
Mercy and Jin, give me some stealth checks.
I'll go ahead and throw up Pass Without Trace.
Yeah,
As,
Mavathor will do the same with the spell scroll.
Okay. As the ship continues to get closer to your guys' location, Mercy and Jin, you know, the thrumming of the ship's ring kind of grows louder, and then eventually down, you can see like spotlights kind of shining down along the valley floor, reflected in the fog.
26?
I don't have. Oh. Yeah, I don't have disadvantage. That's one of the things about my armor. So, yeah, with guidance slapped on, that's 33 for me.
Well, you guys have a little more time. As you guys find like a scrap of iron to kind of hide under, Jin and Mercy, the ship passes just straight over the top of you two, and you can see on the lower sails, along the sides of the vessel, there are the emblems of the Silver Flame on either side of the ship, and their spotlights are kind of shining around. They pass over the rusted scrap that you're hunkered under, and the ship eventually passes over the two of you, still off in the direction of the campsite where the battle took place. You guys have more time, but you want to kind of run off into away from the camp and find a place to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Morty, we're gonna need to rain check this game.
All right. Well, I look forward to playing either way. I love a good competition.
And Mercy just look at Jin and just give the most tired sigh. Is that what I think it is?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it could be worse. Sorry, I didn't say that.
Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that.
At least it's not Kenneth.
All right, the rest of you guys with Pass Without
Shut up,
Trace.
I will slap you. Now we need to move.
What do you have, Mavathor? 33.
Yeah.
Lilith at 21.
Mm,
Lep, make a 27.
Yes.
roll 19.
Am I missing anyone's stealth? I don't think so, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Fangs, technically.
Oh yeah, Fangs.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Mordenkainen too, as well, I guess, huh?
Yeah. And Jenna.
Oh yeah, and Jenna. Right.
There's Fangs.
Mordenkainen.
Shut up, Fangs, we're playing.
They're real things.
Mordenkainen's got a 20 or a 36, I guess, with the Pass Without Trace. And oops. And 18. Are you guys going to attempt to rest while you're waiting?
Probably.
Yeah.
You can at least attempt a short rest, and depending on how much time passes, you might be able to get along. Just depends on what happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a roll for the ship here to see how often they stop and search stuff along the path. All right. Yeah, you guys will have enough time to get a short rest.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, is there any talking to each other that any of the two groups want to do before the ship passes over the veteran camp?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You receive the sending, Mavathor, and you know that something is coming your way. You guys move away from the veterans camp and find a place to try and subvert whatever vessel is coming in your direction. You guys can talk about what you want to do next while you wait and hide.
Can I also roll hit dice while we're walking?
Yeah,
or
you guys
do I need to-
can roll hit dice too. It's fine. Unless you are gonna try and unless you want to decrease your time to the camp, you guys can squeeze in a short rest as well.
I would rather get there quickly. What does Jin think?
Short rest doesn't do anything for me here. I've already expended arcane recovery, so de-assing with a quickness is preferable.
All right, Mercy, give me a survival check.
I'm assisting.
All right, you'll reduce the time it takes you to return to the others by 4 hours. So you'll go from 10 to 6.
Would that be affected at all by my memory of exactly the path we took?
Yeah, that probably helps.
Okay, yeah, in order to try and shorten that, I will forego rolling hit dice, because I get nothing else on short rest.
Yeah, if you want to reduce that time by 4 hours, you guys wouldn't be able to get the short rest in.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, two of you travel back to the others, and the rest of you are sort of just killing time. You guys are free to talk about the encounter and whatever steps you might want to take next.
So, guys, I really think we should chill and do something fun.
Yeah, or like, just like rubs his temples and then turns back to Lap and says, "Speaking of, you and I have some things we need to discuss." So,
Cool. Like what?
sits across from Lip and says, "So why did you try to kill yourself?"
I tried to heal the others. I didn't
Yes,
I've never
but
used that spell before, but I thought, oh, if I can heal the others, that would be good. And I know the spell heals pretty good, so I thought I would try and heal the others by doing that. Since,
yeah, but you also walked right into Zet.
well, okay, I drank the potion and I had like a really good feeling that before. Like it was like I felt if I just hit like a little bit harder, I probably could have killed her. I really believe that. I probably could have like decapitated her or something. I don't know.
You
I mean,
know,
the potions are kind of weird though.
he'll just
They're
kind of
definitely random.
shake his head and say, "This is exactly the kind of recklessness that I've unfortunately come to expect from you, Lep." As he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the infernal contract, and he says, "Well, luckily for you, I have a solution." As he unrolls the new part of as an amendment and says, "We can consider this a solution."
I thought I already signed this. What's up?
Well, we're making an amendment to it to improve it.
What kind of amendment?
Well, this would effectively put you under a constant domination spell.
I'm sorry, I don't think I heard you right.
Well, the
Say
best
that
way for me
again.
to direct you is to do it directly.
Well, you're supposed to be teaching me and be like a mentor,
Yes.
not controlling me.
Don't mentors control their students to a degree?
No. It's like if you're a painter and your teacher tells you to paint something, and you may not be painting it perfectly, so they'll tell you add this color or add this color or
But you
stroke
paint
like
it.
this. Yes. It's not going to be exactly the same, but over time it's going to get better.
Oh, I foresaw this coming, as he'll take the piece of parchment back and reach into his bag and pull out another one or pull out a letter and stuff the contract into it and seal it, and says, "Well, I suppose we can consider our contract finished at this point. You're actively resisting my attempts to help you, so..."
Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean I'm actively resisting your attempts to help me?
Well,
Trying to control me is not helping me, I would think.
that would never stand up in a court of the Nine Hells, and you know it.
Well, we're not in the Nine Hells.
We're not, but this is a binding magical contract.
So, basically, I either agree to this and we sign into effect this new amendment, or the contract is broken on my end, and you take.
Well, yes, it will be, for all intents and purposes, completed. You'll be free to go back to doing whatever it is you want, but in the end, your soul and Flaxus's soul will be forfeit.
You see Lev sort of just look down at his feet as he sort of like twiddles his fingers. And then in his right hand will appear a emerald green pen with a little flash of green light. I'll sign it.
Oh, that makes things a lot easier as he pulls the contract back out and holds it.
Lev, just monotone face, just signs it.
Yep. Take it back and stuff it into his pocket and say, see? And do you feel any worse or different?
I feel like I've just made a terrible mistake, but what does it matter? We're fighting against Vecna. At this point, whatever it takes to win, right?
Right.
So what are the conditions of the amendment?
That until the contract is complete, i.e. defeating Vecna, that Lep shall be under the effect of a domination spell linked between him and Mavathor. And that any attempts to break the domination spell will immediately terminate the contract with the forfeiture of both Lepus and Flaxus's soul. Or, well, Lep trying to break the domination spell.
Yeah.
You hear Mordenkainen say, you know, you should read the fine print. In these circumstances, I've seen a few infernal contracts in my time. Might as well make sure that all the I's and T's are properly dotted and crossed.
Is he saying that to me or to Lep?
He's just kind of saying it out loud. It's infernal nature to be deceiving.
Well, Mavathor wouldn't lie to me. He's my friend.
That's right, we're all friends here.
Well, your logic is kind of flawed there, Levis. Would your friend damn your soul eternally to get what they want out of you?
Well, no, but...
Friendship is about reciprocation and trust.
Which is why he's trusted to sign the contract.
Well, Mavathor, can I have another look at the contract, then?
By all means.
I can help you read it if you like.
Yeah. Yeah, Morty, that'd be cool.
He kind of comes up between the two of you. Do you hand Lep the contract?
He'll do a little magic mumbo jumbo where he kind of like runs his hand across the face of the contract so the letters appear scrambled to everyone but Lep.
Illusory script, basically.
Kind of, you know.
Yeah.
You still have it out though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mordenkainen kind of shovels up between the two of you and he says, well, most of this looks pretty ironclad. I would consider the point that I made about the bonds of friendship. But, Mavathor, your passive perception is... What is it?
22.
22.
Damn.
There is something strange about it, though. Just down here, this signature. It doesn't look like it reads Phylaxis to me. Is that what you said the other name of this contract was?
Well, yeah, it would be mean Phylaxis.
Oh, well, that's interesting, because to me it reads Lord Cass the Betrayer. And he kind of taps the parchment where Phylaxis's name is signed, and it kind of burns away. And in like a blink of an eye, Mordenkainen is now about 10 feet away, holding the bottom piece of the rod in one hand. And he reaches up towards his head and pulls off this simple-looking golden crown, and there's like a billow of black smoke, and you guys see Cass standing there. And he says,
Lilith immediately takes out her crossbow and shoots him.
Oh, hey, Cass.
This is exactly what I was looking for.
How
It's a pleasure
did
to
he
see.
get the rod piece?
It's a pleasure to see you all again. He rolled a 34 on a sleight of hand check, pilfering through Malithor's things.
I'm assuming 16 doesn't hit him.
16 doesn't hit him. He catches your bolt in his teeth and he grins. And
Well, do we have? Okay, do we have to fight the guy? You know he's not that bad.
Smiles and simply just snaps his fingers as the infernal contract appears back in his hand. He says, can't take away what I own.
yeah, the contract appears back in your hands, where the signature is changed and Cass's name is. There's like the parchment is like withering away, and that part of the parchment burns a circle out of it. And he says, well, it's a pleasure doing business with you all, as it ever is. I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for getting that windfall out of my hair. Life was not very pleasurable in her company.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
And he'll place the crown back on his head and instantly transform back into Mordenkainen. And I guess if you guys are going to try and do anything, you can roll initiative.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll roll initiative, but Lip ain't gonna fight the guy.
Meanwhile, 4 hours away. So, your pledge seems like a nice lady. Bit young, but
Jen, are we really doing this right now?
well, if you had stalled Zet for 6 more seconds, we'd be doing this back with the others instead of 2 for 4 seconds.
You know that wasn't a proposal, right? I mean, I know you're old, you might be a little, unused to modern customs, but come on.
When one pledges themselves to another, that's usually a lifelong commitment. It historically has been.
And those are not always marriages.
Lilith, your dex is probably higher than Malithor's, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mordenkainen is about 10 feet away from the group. He's got his hand in his robe, and the bottom of the rod in his other hand.
She's going to shoot at his hand holding the rod to try and get him to drop it.
Okay. Like a cold shot kind of thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Make a... If you... Oh, okay, yeah. The bolt goes past him.
Okay, she's gonna try again.
your bolt hits the piece of the rod, and it goes flying out of his hand, rolling in the grass about 7 feet behind him.
Okay, yeah. Did you say she would be able to sprint towards it? Probably not, right?
No, you can sprint towards it.
Alright, yeah, she's definitely going to sprint towards it and try to pick it up.
Yeah, you pick it up.
Alright, let's just gonna start running.
All right, Mavathor.
Yeah, he'll move to interpose himself between Cass and Lilith as he casts slow on Cass and uses his amulet to give him disadvantage on the saving throw.
Is it a wisdom?
Yep, DC 20.
29.
Oh man.
Oh, disadvantage, sorry. 13.
Yeah. Alright, he's slowed.
Okay.
God.
Lep? Or no, sorry,
Lep-
Mavathor, or Cass has rolled a 7. Sorry, Mavathor, anything else?
I don't believe so. Not right now. I guess, yeah, as a bonus action, he'll use his Gift of the Chromatic on his gauntlet for fire damage. And that'll be the end of his turn.
Cass says, well, perhaps I revealed or I guess he's just using Cass's voice. He says, well, maybe I revealed my hand too early. You'll have to teach me that card game next time we meet, Lepus. Sorry about that letter I sent you. I tried to make it sound realistic. Remember what I said about friendship. And he pulls a little stone tile out of his robe, and he smiles at you under his little pointed mustache. You see a pair of sharp fangs, and he says, we'll meet again, I'm sure. And he squeezes the stone and disappears.
Lep's like hand is like open towards him, and his mouth is like he's gonna say something. He just has no words.
I would assume Lilith is still running.
You hear a little voice in your head, Lilith, just before Cass disappears. It says, "Good to see you again, princess."
Lilith, he's gone. You can come back if you can still hear us.
Now, every NPC you guys meet will be Cass in your minds.
Yeah, we're gonna need true seeing.
Yeah. Mavathor, okay, what?
Lilith doesn't run back. She walks back. She's fucking tired.
Yeah, no. Lep is like has like stomped up to Mavathor. Like, what does this mean? Okay. With his signature on it, how does this change things? This?
Well, Lep, you would realize that Mavathor doesn't have any power over Phylaxis. That it must have been Cass disguised as Phylaxis that showed up and made the deal.
Oh, Lep sort of like takes a minute to breathe. Like, oh, this is a good thing. Okay. And he's gonna give a middle finger to Mavathor. Fuck you.
But Cass's name is still on the contract.
I don't care. Phylaxis isn't.
No, that was a question to Ryan.
when he touched his name, he burned his signature away.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like that's really high. Like basically, a wish spell can only do that.
Well, this is a conundrum that I'm going to run into because by the time you guys are level 20, I mean, some of these figures like Cass and Vecna are just going to have higher powers. And you have to kind of think of the lives that they've led, becoming conquerors of worlds and the things that they've done in their own time. It's hard to put in a snapshot like the entirety of someone like Cass's lifetime. And if the NPCs don't have their own tricks outside of what can be Googled about them or their stat blocks, I mean, they become kind of trivialized in comparison to the party.
There's
I realize, and here's what I'll say, because I realize that I'm taking something. It feels like I'm taking something away from you, or I am taking something away from you. Here's what I'll say about that. I try very hard to run a game in which 98% of the time I'm on your side. And I want your heroes to succeed, and I want you to have a good time, and every now and again, what I hope that I earn through that is an NPC can fuck you over. Now, if you don't think that that's fair, we can talk about it, together in private, if you wish.
There's a bit of narrative precedence for the sort of necrotic energy overpowering the magic available to us. So it's not a huge stretch in my mind that someone like Kath could burn away
Cass,
something like that with
you guys
with
will learn
necrotic
more about.
energy.
I mean, it will be unveiled over time. More about Cass, you know what I mean? Right now, he's just sort of this outside figure. Cass has his own motives as well, and you guys will certainly uncover those motives in time. But, I mean, maybe to help you sleep better, Cass is wielding his own abyssal power. And
I'm just like, the narrative precedence is there, so it makes sense to me.
well,
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it.
it's kind of the reason why I don't, there have been throughout the adventure questions about, like, why aren't the gods involved? It's like, well, if the gods are involved in a meaningful way, why are we playing? You know what I mean? Because if the gods can just solve all of the party's problems, it is kind of what Jin's saying, is that the hierarchies of power are always struggling with each other. And that's what Cass does in this moment, is kind of a representation of that struggle. But I understand why it doesn't feel fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I also hope in the time that I've been running the game for you guys that I have earned a little bit of grace in moments like these.
Yeah, no problem. And as a reaction to flipping him off, he'll give the mental command for him to pick up his tea set and smash it.
Punitive action. Lep, you're still under contract. Cass didn't burn your name away. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. How is it to not to like complete? I'm sorry. A lot has just happened.
Yeah.
It was talking with Philaxis that would be one of the things that would break his side of the contract and leave his soul to be taken by Mepithel.
I was re-engaging in a relationship with him.
Re-engaging in a relationship. Okay. Yeah,
Which-
I mean,
you can still
Could be
fail.
construed as like
You
talking
can
with
still
him,
fail.
but yeah.
You can still
Yeah.
fail on your end. You know,
yeah, okay.
and I mean, I guess you probably would have a lot of questions in your mind as Lep is concerned. You know,
I mean,
did Cass make Phylaxis aware of this thing he was going to do? How much has Cass been following and listening to you guys? You know, Cass could be anything. Cass could be everywhere.
Well, I will say Lep does. I think kind of like a robot go and pick up his tea set and smash it.
And it is kind of an odd thing, but whether the party likes it or not, Cass is taken a strange liking to you. Probably because you're one of the only people in some time that has just had normal interactions with him and treated him with some level of kindness. Which maybe he finds amusing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Lep destroys, smashes his tea set.
I can imagine Lilith finally gets over to them and is like holding out the rod to Mavathor to give it back to him, and she goes, "Whoa, what is going on here? I was gone for 2 seconds."
You love this man? This man is a piece of fucking shit.
He'll just do this to command Lep to silence himself.
You see Lep is still moving, but he doesn't speak.
He'll take the rock
Lilith
piece.
just kind of goes, "Don't, what happened?"
Well, he left, Cass left, and but turns out Flaxus isn't part of this contract, so well, I guess that means you get all of my attention, undivided.
He's like trying to speak, making all these gestures. Just you see rage in his eyes as he's looking at Matt.
We're all exhausted. Let's get some sleep. At least right through while we're here.
You guys can hear a faint humming in the distance, and you guys are kind of tucked away off on the eastern side of the camp, and eventually in the mists, you can see these beams of light kind of pandering back and forth along the bottom of the ravine along the river. And you see that ship kind of come into view, obscured by the mist, but you can see its bright ring humming near the rear of the vessel and the light shining down. And it does actually stop over the camp on the western side of the river. And you see 2 figures sort of slowly descend down from the ship and begin to like meander around the camp a little bit. And go ahead.
Lilith grabs Left's hand, grabs Mavathor's hand, and goes, "We need to go now," and just starts taking off.
Idle curiosity. What did Jayla do with all of that?
Yeah.
We just left Jayla behind. We don't care about Jayla. Minnie's not there anymore, so.
I meant the whole thing with Cass and Lepis and Mavathor.
She she was about to say something about what's transpiring between all of you, but when the ship arrives, she's got this kind of horrified look on her face, and she says, "Those are the divine Justicars."
I don't care who they are. Let's go.
She says, the ship is pointed in the direction of Yalos. Some of my things are there. If they discover them, they will surely torment Yalos's citizens to get to me. We have to get there and warn them.
Please, let's just do that.
How far is it there?
It's going to take another 7 hours or so to get to Yalos. The ship will arrive there far before us. But I can't let them suffer because of my presence.
Then how do you suggest we warn them? Jayla, I'm not trying to be mean, but all of us are exhausted. Most of us are out of spells. There's...
She says, you're right.
I can try to distract the ship.
She says,
Make
you're right. We can't warn them. I can't let anyone else, including you or the people of Yalos, suffer because of my absence. I just need to turn myself over to them.
No, you're not doing that either.
Anyone else gets hurt.
No, that's not a good idea. No.
We can't talk about this here. They're going to find us. We need to hide and come up with something. I don't know.
Well, if they're going to Vialos, maybe we can, I don't know, get some sort of ambush on them?
What ambush, Lap?
I don't know.
Oh, we're all out of energy.
Sorry that we don't have all the answers, but we need to try. We cannot just stand here and not do anything, Lilith. I don't know, but we can't just not do anything. I will go there myself, and I will be a distraction if that is what it takes for you guys to do something. I don't care anymore.
You're not going left. I won't let you. She'll kind of glance over at Matador.
Yeah. You see him thinking and says, if only we could form a distraction in the opposite direction, that would possibly get them to move away from the town.
You guys see these two figures that look kind of like this, clad in shining silvery armor and these kind of billowing robes. They sort of methodically turn over the camp and investigate the bodies. They don't seem to find your tracks leading off into the direction you went off to hide. After about 10 minutes of them searching through the camp, the two of them raise back up onto the ship, and it continues on sort of north along the river, continuing to pan with its lights along the banks.
If only Jin were here, he'd...
Well, think for a minute. Did Jin give Mavathor the ETA of them arriving at the camp?
No. He just said that he was making his way towards your position.
Okay.
How long do we think it'll take this ship to find Vialos?
They'll be there in a fourth of the time it would take you.
Oh, great.
Lep is gonna look towards Mavathor and say, Mavathor, do you care if I die?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Why?
Well, we stood shoulder to shoulder in Avernus, if that counts for anything.
It does.
We fought back hordes of demons and freed Zariel from her role.
We did. But everything you've done since then, I look to you as a friend, as a very dear friend. And ever since we left Avernus, it seems more and more like you are not the person I met when we were there. And I know you're trying to do your whole thing, Phasmadeus, and that's great. But if you do not do something to stop that ship or distract it in some way, I can give us time. Enough time, maybe.
He says, yes, I'm trying to think of a solution to this problem that's neat, orderly, and doesn't involve us mutilating ourselves.
I'm not suggesting mutilation. But they want the silver, the voice of the silver flame, or whatever jailer, whatever your title is. I'll give them something.
I know you will. It's just, frankly, I think as we've said multiple times, we need as much help as we can get, and
Then we should try and save those people in Vialos and not let them be tortured and slaughtered by some cult-like religion. Or religion ruled by cultists. Whatever the hell the silver flame is. No offense, Jayla.
She says, that's not what the silver flame is, but it is what they've become. And that's why I know they will not hesitate to harm those in Ialos just to get to me.
Wait, I have an idea.
uh,
And Lilith is going to summon Maggie. What if Maggie can mimic Jayla's voice in the opposite direction?
not a terrible idea.
Yeah, what do you do?
It's gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna send Maggie off and have her try and
So you want her
fool
to like
them.
fly up along the vessel and try and fool them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Avatar is gonna like just pick up like a stick on the ground and cast light on it, and kind of flavor it to make the light a similar color to Jayla's, kind of silvery glow, and gives it to Maggie and says this should draw them away fairly effectively, I believe.
Good.
All right.
And then
If,
Lilith sends her off.
if
You,
it doesn't,
you send Maggie off, and she glides up along the side of the vessel. What do you want her to say?
I probably would have had like Jayla talk to her and say some phrases.
All right. Maggie flies up and give me a deception check for Maggie.
Alright.
With advantage with the help action from Mavathor.
Okay. I'll take it off. Oh shit, this is not gonna go well. Okay.
Well, you can use your deception. That's fine. You don't have to use the stat block I gave you. You can use your deception.
Oh. I already rolled it. That is a 5.
Do you have inspiration?
I do not. Sadly.
Let me pull up the Flame Zealot here. Perception. You see a silver bolt of divine energy flash out towards Maggie and Stryker.
Well, I guess we're
First
going with.
idea.
Well, I can go with my idea.
No, Lep, you are not sacrificing
I'm
yourself.
not trying to sacrifice myself.
That's what you're doing if you're going to cause a distraction.
Well, if they want Jayla, I can give them Jayla.
Jayla says, listen. These are my problems. And from traveling with you, I understand that you have your own. They aren't going to harm me. They simply want to bring me back to Flamekeep. And I will
Is
have
that
to
harm
find...
you?
She said they will not harm me.
No, I'm saying after they bring her back, then they'll harm her.
Well, they certainly are going to try to use me for their own dark ends. But I cannot let
Can I
anyone...
ask a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
Are they heading to the same place that Jayla said the Lord of Blades was, or is this the other encampment?
The other encampment. The Lord of Blades is on the far side of the mountains you guys are currently in. Or the Lord of Blades' encampment.
Of course he is. Okay. Sorry, continue.
It's okay. Jayla says, darkness in the flame will only get darker if I do not do what is right. And that is protect the innocent. What I've learned from the people of Yalos is that there's a spark of life in them that is more than machine. They have compassion, empathy. They are more than just machinations of war left behind by a nation torn asunder. Despite all that's happened to them, they showed me kindness. I must return the favor and live by the light of the flame, the true light of the flame. I cannot let the darkness overcome it. This is my duty as the keeper.
If anyone's looking over at Lilith, she's like has tears in her eyes and she's trying not to shed them. And she just keeps shaking her head.
Lep is full on crying. I was gonna ask, could he try some, divine intervention?
Did you succeed on it?
No.
You haven't had a long rest, so.
Is that what it... When you attempt it, you have to have a long rest again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mamathorn will point at the ship and say, well, how do you intend to get it back over here, away from the town?
Well, they're not too far away yet. Jayla says, find your friends and whenever you finish whatever your task is, I'll be in Flamekeep.
I'd say I admire your conviction.
Um, Jayla says she pulls a silver chain off from around her neck. And she hands it out to you, Lilith, and she says, "Give this to your friend Mercy. I remove the darkness from her soul. I saw the pain that she's going through. This might help to cause her internal suffering, lighten her internal burdens." And she hands her emblem of the silver flame over to you, Lilith.
Be sure to give this to her.
And she says, "I don't know if any of you can use this, but I'm not going to need it." She stabs her sword, her great sword, into the ground. She says, "May the true light of the flame watch over you all in your endeavors." And she turns and she starts jogging towards the riverbanks. And as she gets some distance away, she kind of disappears in the fog. And then you can see like a beam of light appear around her. She casts a moonbeam on herself. And starts to jog up alongside of the ship. And it stops. And you see those two figures kind of glide down and take her by the arms, and they go back up to the deck. The ship turns away from Yalos to the west.
I think Lilith is just right now just like staring blankly at where the ship was.
Avatar will walk over to the sword as he, just has like a flash of memory of what he remembered the sword of Zariel stuck in the stone looked like, and he just kind of looks to Lep and says, "I wasn't worthy then, but I'm certainly not worthy now." And he'll motion for Lep to approach it.
Aww.
Just like a husk or a robot, he just monotonely just walks over. No emotion in his face as he looks at you.
He says, "I prefer not to force you to grab that sword, but something so precious shouldn't be left behind."
No, it shouldn't. And he'll touch the sword and he'll, I think, try to pull it out of the ground and fail because he has 8 strength.
It's quite a big sword for even the size of Jayla.
I don't think I can pull this out that method.
He'll just kind of roll his eyes and help him pull it out of the ground.
Thank you. You should hold on to it though.
Why?
Well, aside from the fact that I can't use it, probably more valuable to you.
He just kind of shakes his head and, has his clawed hand on his... Says, I already have my weapon of choice. Who knows? Maybe Tasha can modify that to be more to your liking or fitting.
Sure.
I was gonna say something. It slipped. It was kind of important. Damn it. We'll take our mid-session break, and be back in 5.
I'm ready.
Sounds good.
Time for a beer.